Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar have come out and said Trump's crazy and more dangerous, quote, than Putin and Kim Jong-un because he's struck Syria. This is what you've been foaming at the mouth for. See, this is what's crazy. There is an area of no attention span mental illness now in this country from people with smartphones and TVs where the average person has an attention span less than a goldfish. So Behar may not even remember a week before she was calling for strikes. Well, the president, via Nikki Haley, has told the world that we're locked and loaded and we're preparing more airstrikes on Syria and big sanctions to be announced in the next few hours against Russia. Russia is vowing to retaliate much stronger if they have their forces attacked again. They are saying the rebels staged the chemical attack. And they've provided evidence the last 3 times the rebels launched the chemical attack. President Trump, when he was a candidate, tweeted that the rebels had been caught staging chemical attacks before. But now, without proof, rushing to judgment, right after Trump announced that he wanted to pull out of Syria and that the Russians were pulling out, the neocons want to keep a war going. The Democrats want to keep a war going. And so this perfect provocation pops up right on time. Now, remember these headlines from the last few months and the last year. Show that any so-called Christians or conservatives or libertarians or nationalists or patriots and pro-Trump folks, and I'm still pro-Trump, know the area we're entering in. This is a major course change. Hillary Clinton calls for U.S. to bomb Syrian airfields. Asks for Trump to bomb Syria. Reuters. U.S. training Syrian militants for false flag chemical attacks as basis for airstrikes. Russian Ministry of Defense, March 18th, a month ago. And then a month later, on Friday the 13th, you see the attacks. Is that lost on you? False flag. Ron Paul says Syrian chemical attack makes no sense. Probably a false flag. That's from last year. Daily Caller reporting on it from the Ron Paul report, the Liberty report. And he sourced the UN report and our own Pentagon reports. Google, in an internal document that was leaked to Mike Cernovich that we got, said they wanted Ron Paul and InfoWars delisted because they feared when there was another staged chemical attack, the public would listen to us. That's why you've seen Google coming after us. Elizabeth Warren on Friday called for strikes and then later praised Trump. And so did a bunch of other Democrats. But the Democrats still online are now calling for Assad to be killed, Russia to be bombed, but simultaneously commenting, oh, Alex Jones, ha-ha, you're against Trump bombing Syria. You said you're upset with Trump. See, it's your problem. He's a mad dog. He's crazy. Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar have come out and said Trump's crazy and more dangerous, quote, than Putin and Kim Jong-un because he's struck Syria. This is what you've been foaming at the mouth for. See, this is what's crazy. There is an area of no attention span mental illness now in this country from people with smartphones and TVs where the average person has an attention span less than a goldfish. So Behar may not even remember a week before she was calling for strikes. But now she's saying Trump's wrong. Their minds are gone, folks. They're gone. It's like Rand Paul's against the war, and one of the biggest critics of Trump on real issues. And when he got physically attacked, the left celebrated and said, good, too bad he isn't dead. Big-time Democrats, because he's got an R after his name. They don't even know the policies. They don't even know what people stand for. And so when you see so much of mainstream news putting out disinfo, remember, thank God you've got a memory. Thank God you see through it, because it's not like you're a rocket scientist or I'm a rocket scientist. It's that we still have our memories. Most children out there can't even hold conversations. I mean, society is collapsing, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to get a lot worse. We need rehabs from cell phones. We need rehabs from internet. We need rehabs from television. We need rehabs from the culture. I'm telling you, if I had the money, I'd set up resorts with no TV, no radio, no newspapers, no telephones, and with, you know, golf and frisbee and swimming pools and volleyball and hiking, and they'd be the biggest hits in the world. That's what people need. I know they've got some of these people where people forest bathe and, you know, they go out these little places and stay in these little cabins. It's got to happen, folks. We are dying. Instead of being like a blind person where you can't see the world, young people now only look at their phones. I'll sit there and watch a group of young teenage girls at, say, a restaurant. None of them talk the entire time. They look at their phones and then giggle and laugh and then send each other messages. And they admit the IQs are dropping. The vocabulary is dropping. We are dying. It has been programmed. Here's an example. I'm looking at drudgereport.com, and I'll get into all this Mueller news and Comey news and war news and all the new strikes they're gearing up. And boom. Japan to lift ban on growing human organs in animals. Man set to be genetically modified. So that is WorldNet Daily. I'm going to be covering that article coming up. And there's another one right here. Another article. Man set to be genetically modified. And then another one. Battle over gene-edited food. Now, that's the Daily Mail. Now, think about this. I've told you everything in those articles, word for word, for 20 years. I've been on air 23, but I didn't really get knowledge of this till about 20 years ago. And I went and read all the white papers, all the governmental reports. This has all been legal. It's all been going on for 40 years in the West. I learned about it 20 years ago. When listeners would fill my mailbox, back then I got hundreds of pieces a week, still do, but then that was a lot of mail, with people sending me white papers, university reports. A lot of them were scientists. And they said, Alex, you need to really cover this, because they say it's not legal to clone, but if you call it research purposes and you kill the clones when they're little, when they're embryonic, there are waivers. And then soon enough, I saw articles in BBC admitting human-animal splices and clones and all this. And how they were already growing humanoids inside cows in China, the U.S., the U.K. But if you tune into Colbert or you tune into any of these shows, they go, Jones is insane, the chemicals in the water don't exist, and they're not turning you sterile, gay, you name it. And there's no human clones, and there's no human-animal hybrids. And they make fun of it and laugh because that is a talking point. Ahead of it rolling out, they make fun of you if you say it, so that it gets lined up, gets prepared, gets publicly approved, rolls out, is suddenly everywhere, is suddenly at genetic clinics all over town. Suddenly you can go have a new humanoid made, grown in a tank. They'll say, oh, it's proprietary, you can't see it. The tank is a brainless cow. And this is classified, but I got this from classified sources. Most of this is already public, but they have brainless cows. All they have is a brainstem, so that they, quote, don't go through any pain. That's called the tank, and it's all in an enclosure. And then the tanks grow the humanoids. And then they harvest the humanoids of all their organs. And by the way, that's in all the literature, but the part about how they call them tanks They admit they're growing them in cows now, but the new thing is they're going to call them tanks. So no one even tells you that there's a cow in there doing this.
You know, someone very profoundly once said many years ago that if fascism ever comes to America, it'll come in the name of liberalism.
He goes to jail. He goes to jail. Lock him up.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Who are you, little fella? Come to show him where I am. Not nice.
Thought you couldn't hair press on nails because of all the active things you do? Recolored in 7 luscious hues. Just...
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep. These signals being sent through...
There is a war on for your mind. Our signal has reached more than 2 billion people. But the enemy is now aware of the fact that we've broken through and are moving to block us on every front. The only way you're going to be able to see our videos and articles is to visit Infowars.com itself and hand share the videos and articles to everyone you know. The signal is getting through and is exposing and defeating the globalist when we're able to get it through. But they're admittedly expanding their operations to suppress us, so only you can boost the signal. Only you can defeat the globalist. We're in this together. I salute you for your work, and I ask all of you to redouble your efforts.
There is a signal broadcast every second of every day through our television sets.
I'm just trying to warn you folks, the television is a giant LED weapon system. It's so advanced.
Shows it to him, comes right back, go one way and come back in the other and get in the air. His hometown, northwest of Belgrade. And tonight, their family, his family, is watching in the living room at home. And one of the great new technologies that we have here at ESPN is that we can look at you in your house through your TV.
You know what? You got a little courage. Stand up for yourself.
Waging war on corruption. It's Alex Jones, coming to you live from the front lines of the InfoWar.
Nourish a probiotic-friendly environment in your gut with prebiotic fiber by InfoWars Life. Help the good bacteria thrive and support overall digestive health with our specially formulated prebiotic fiber, a mixture of clinically studied and organic acacia, fruit, and flax fiber. Prebiotic fiber is soluble fiber that ferments in the gut to help feed good bacteria, which helps you digest food, absorb nutrients, and even support your immune system. InfoWars Life's cutting-edge formula only brings you the highest quality, organic, and clinically studied ingredients. Cheap prebiotic fibers are used up only at the beginning of the colon, but our premium organic acacia fiber is slowly digested by the good bacteria throughout the entire colon for maximum prebiotic effect. Head to InfoWarsLife.com or call 1-888-253-3139.